This episode of Shit My Dad Taught Me is brought to you by our sponsor and good friend, Matthew Stevenson, insurance and estate planning expert. If you're listening to this and you're a Canadian business owner, you're probably paying too much in taxes. Matt can prove this to you, and most importantly, he can help you greatly reduce the amount of taxes you pay. He's not just an insurance guy, he's a strategist. He works alongside your accountants, lawyers, and other advisors to build a real plan that protects your business, your family, and your legacy. Trust me, if you run a successful business and you're not talking to Matt directly right now, you're overpaying taxes, period. If you're ready to stop paying more than you need to, reach out to Matthew Stevenson. You can visit him at matthew-stevenson.ca. Shoot him a DM. We're going to tag him on this episode. Tell him Chris and Jamie sent you. Thanks, Matt.
Shit my dad taught me.
Shit my dad taught me.
Who we got here today,
We're
Chris?
a special guest today. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks so much for asking.
Yeah.
David Hulshof. Dave and I go back. We were high school buddies, still Burlingtonians. He's put together quite a career for himself. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Little intro to kick it off, little chat
Yeah, here we
GPT,
go.
our
Should
way
be
of
good.
phoning it in.
He looks like he's got his more energy. I think he had more sleep last night than the two of us did total.
I'm feeding off.
Guys,
it.
I always have high energy, so
Yeah?
we're good. Yeah. I'll pull you back up.
How much sleep did you get last night?
6 hours.
Oof.
Oh, so it's close.
Is that good for you? Is like a 6-year number?
Yeah. 6 my number.
Oh, shit.
6
I was like 3.5. You were like 3.5, 4.
What are you guys
Yeah.
doing?
Kids.
Sleeping.
I'm doing my MBA right now, so I fucking have so much ridiculous school. So I stayed up till 3 a.m, just like hammering through because I'm going to his family's cottage this weekend, and like there's a big project due tomorrow, a ton of group session shit to do on the Saturday morning that we're supposed to like do as a group. So we just hammered through a whole bunch of shit last night and submitted it all. It's like, all right, we're good till Wednesday.
Yeah.
Fuck it, mail it in.
And then
I got, both my kiddos are sick, so they had me up, but ain't nobody got time for that. Let's bring the
Cumulatively,
energy.
you guys make a solid intro.
6 hours
So
on
enough
both
about
sides.
us. Let's find out about our guest.
Yeah, that's it. Miles will like speed it up or something. We'll sound like we're full of energy. ChatGPT intro. Dave Hulshof is a commercial real estate expert with over 15 years experience in investment advisory and wealth management. As co-founder of the Investments Group at Royal LePage Burloak, he co-leads one of Canada's most active property investment teams, analyzing over 1,500 deals annually and facilitating more than 100 million in transactions in the year 2023 alone. So far, so good.
Yeah, ChatGPT is pretty solid so far.
Holding respected financial designations, CLU, CFP, Dave approaches real estate not just as a broker, but as a strategic financial advisor, leveraging a vast network and sophisticated analysis to unlock hidden opportunities, whether it's off-market properties or complex valuations. His work helps clients build generational wealth through smart, data-driven investments.
Wild with this thing.
Just sound like a pretty good dude.
Just like that.
I've got it fooled. I fooled the AI.
The internet.
Would all your exes agree with this?
Let's phone one.
Yeah, we almost did.
I cut that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the business side, man. And then we also like to talk about the personal side too. So that left it out, but maybe we start there, man.
Yeah.
Go back to day one. How'd you grow up? Tell us about family.
Yeah. Grew up born in Sarnia, so 2 hours from here. Moved to Burlington grade 3. That's where I think did you go to Tuck?
I was Pineland back then.
That's why we didn't get along.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Rivals. Still feeling it today.
Went to, I don't know, from there, Nelson, so that's definitely where we met.
Yeah.
Went to Laurier, and from there kind of did a tour through a bunch of different financial institutions. Chris and I were chatting, taught all through Ontario, corporately owned life insurance. So it's a tax minimization strategy. Went from there to private wealth, and then from there into the job I do now. So, and then on the personal side, father of one, beautiful son Kai, who you've met as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's the CV.
That's it, man. And then how about your growing up? So you have a brother, you've got...
Yeah, got a brother 2 years older. He actually lives in the US right now, which is a wild experience for him.
Whereabouts?
Right outside of Tampa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he loves it. He actually works for Oracle, so they gave him an opportunity. He's working in Canada, and they're like, "We'll move you to the U.S. and you can pick where you want to go." So he went on a tour with his wife and his kids to decide where across the U.S. he wanted to land. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Super cool.
What's he doing with Oracle?
He kills me because I get it wrong. I say he's a network engineer, but I think he's a sales engineer.
Yeah, okay.
It's a little bit outside my scope, but he's very good at what he does. Yeah.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's going to listen and be like, that's not what I fucking do. Still, after all these years. Yeah. And then, dad lives in Burlington too, with my stepmom. So they're actually not too far from me as well. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about being a dad, man. So you've got a son, Kai. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know it's magic. Magic. I was describing it to my one buddy. He just had a kid, and I'm like, your scale of love is going to go from like 1 to 10 to 1 to 100. That's crazy. It's just been the most magical of experiences. I'm sure you know, like you don't envision how wildly amazing it's going to be until you go through the process, and you're just like wowed every day. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's hard to describe unless you've been through it, right?
How old's Kai?
He's 9. Awesome. Yeah, he's 9 going on 30.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, you got to tell us about that, man, because you guys started to work together.
Yeah. So he's incredibly like eloquent. He's very mature for his age. He just has these really poignant questions all the time. It's like, wow, it's like the ones that kind of catch you. You're like, I got to think about this answer. So through my career, one of my passions has been taking something that's seemingly complex, boiling it down, and then kind of regurgitating it in a way that's easier to understand. It's kind of served me well, but it's something I just love. Like you got to really understand it to kind of throw it back and make it easier to understand. So I think just through the course of his and my relationship, we've been doing that. I've been doing that with him. And we were just talking about investments and crypto and tax and just the way he was responding. It's like, wow, this kid, like, he gets it. So we decided to start a podcast, and the whole premise is we're going to take different financial topics, and him and I are just going to go back and forth on it. So if it's complex, I'll have to teach it to him, and at the end, he's going to kind of spit it back out to me to make sure we both are on the same page.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the first one was hilarious. Like he's just a star. Like we did the contract. We were talking about the IP and who owns it, right? The podcast itself, and taxes and structure. And he starts chuckling because at the beginning we're putting on these microphones because it's not quite as nice of a podcast studio as this one, and it's not clipping to them. So, in this podcast, we're talking about, there's taxes, and, you don't get to keep everything. And he's like, what we should do? Should reinvest it into the podcast. That way we don't have to have microphones like this. I was like, this kid's ripping me. Chirping us. Yeah. So he's a little superstar. So we're going to build that series out, which is super cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. He's great.
It's crazy how quick they become real people, eh? At 9, they're their own thing.
It's like,
doesn't part of you want to go like, but slow down, like be 9, go be 9, don't be 15 yet.
Yeah, like it's funny because when he was young, you're just like, I don't want anything to change because this is perfect. And then you enter into the next stage and you're like, this is different but equally as beautiful. And it's like, now that he's 9 and he's growing up so quick, it's like at some point he's just going to be off to university. Like that's freaking me out, man. Yeah. I don't want him to go. I just want to keep him.
Yeah, same. So your dad, tell us a bit about him, man.
He is just a huge, beautiful soul. So he is retired now. He ran, have you ever heard of Wosley, a company called Wosley?
Yeah. I've seen the sign there. They've got an office in Burlington. Right?
Pretty big office. So they do like pipes, valves, fittings, things like that. So he ran the Canada division for quite some time. So he sort of moved up the ranks. He's just like the most like manliest men, but in a good way. He's just like been a rock, but like I'll come to him for sport and it's always like tough love. You're in some bad spot and you're like, I need help. And it's like, I'll give you some advice. And then that's it. There's no handouts, right? So it's been a gift. Like, when you're growing up, you're like, why gotta be such a dick? And then later you're like, thanks for that.
That's why.
That's why. Yeah, that's why, right? Yeah. It's the struggle of being a parent too, because it's like, man, I'm like, I don't want to be too nice to my kid. Just there's some balance, right? And it's hard to strike. And then, when it's happening when you're a kid, you feel like it's way too hard. Not though. So he's a good soul. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I struggle with that too, man. And I think it's different when you got girls too, because the way that they look at me sometimes, I'm like, you got my number.
The best was when you came out and play soccer the other night, and the girls are just cheering daddy on.
Oh, yeah.
So was mom. Well, I wouldn't say mom was cheering on. She was kind of like chirping.
Was she chirping? Was mom chirping? Yeah.
There were 7 or 8 people watching and one laughing, and the only one laughing was his wife.
Hi, honey. Thank you. Thank you for the support.
Shout out, love.
It wouldn't be love if it wasn't that. that, right?
But the girls were just jacked, man. They were so excited.
Yeah, they have fun, man. And again, like Lucy's 9, she's turning 10 this year. But it's the same thing. It's like, okay, you turned into a little person and now we get to go do stuff, like real stuff and have like, and we've talked on the show a little bit about some of the things that I'm doing, not too dissimilar to what you were talking about with Kai, just to try and explain the world, explain finances, and we obviously fully support that. And we're trying to do that in our own little way. We might have some new content coming out that is kind of literally shit my dad taught me, but just putting it into little bite-sized pieces.
Finances for little fuckers.
Yeah, that's it. Write it down, Miles.
Yeah.
So, and then I think it's cool when you take them with you like that, because there's nothing better than seeing it hands-on. So was your dad like that with like the examples he'd give you? Or
His thing was just kind of like leading by example. And then, if he was there, if you needed him, but his big thing was just like, just diligent to what he needed to do. That's what I mean by being a man, right? Like just like being there, doing the things he needed to do to make sure things ran successfully. So very smart financially, just had his, he had his path. So when we were younger, so my mom left when we were in grade, I was 12. And so it was like big, obviously catastrophic event, but from a financial perspective, we were like on the ropes and he just managed it. And it was really like at the time was stressful, but you look back and you're just like, wow, what a gift to have gone through that, to watch what like, your hero does in hard moments. Cause that was probably at the time one of the hardest things for us to navigate. And I remember he told me later, but he went into, this is back when banking was a little bit different, but we were close to, cause of all the payouts and everything, close to losing the house. And he went to the manager at RBC and was like, here's my analysis. This is how I'm going to make it work. Like, I know you think you need to make me sell this, but if you give me rope, I will make it work. And again, different banking times, because they could a little bit
of flexibility back then.
The managers. So they took a flyer on him and he's like, I never missed a single payment, did exactly what he said he was going to do. We got to keep the house. Me, my brother and him all lived there. So it was a wild experience. And then you look back and you're like, So, that's where I think some of the, the foundational desire to have some financial literacy comes from. If you didn't have that, we would have been out of the house, right? Thank God he did.
Are you able to talk about like what happened with your mom when you were 12? Like what?
Yeah. Open book. Yeah. She, I don't know exactly. Like, so she, when I was younger, an amazing mom, we had a really good relationship. And then, mental health, I think she just kind of up and started changing pretty quick and then split. It was pretty wild.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. When I was,
and that was you and your brother at the time?
Yeah. All three of us. So when it was interesting, because when I was in my early 30s, I was like, man, like, because we didn't have a relationship after that, right? And she just kind of split. But when I was younger, we had a good one. So it's interesting, your mind, like as you grow, I'm like, how much of this is a narrative I'm telling myself? Like, this is pretty interesting. So I actually reached out to her and then we met, and it was just a crazy, weird experience. It was very bizarre. It was like, we met the first time, very weird to like go and have dinner with an estranged parent. So it was very awkward. And then we met again. And I remember we were like walking down Brand Street actually, so not too far from here. And I was like, I was like, I gotta ask you a question, but you just think on the answer. It's like, how'd you leave Steve and I? Like my dad and her might have had things, but like me and Steve, that's what I'm struggling to.
Because you were 12 and he was 14 at that time?
Yeah. So I was struggling to like, it wasn't apparent at the time. So it was interesting. The only reference I had was my dog, who I had for like 10 years at the time. I was like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around like what happened there. Like, and I'm not going to judge your answer. If you and me want to have a relationship, I got to have an answer. She's like, that's super fair. Without like, I want to justify your answer. So I want to think about it. So like, give me 24 hours and then I'll call you and give me an answer. And then she never called again. Never heard from her again. Yeah. Crazy.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Nuts.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you guys chatted twice and then since then, nothing again.
Nothing. No.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like some people just aren't designed for the job that they're cast upon them, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You hear so many stories of like when the kids are super young, right? Like 1, 2, 3, like one of the parents for whatever reason, just like it's not their game and that's not what but like, 12 and 14, like you've gone through that whole process. Like you've loved those kids for 12, 14 years.
It's mental health. That's how I coin it. But it's interesting. Like you go through something like that, and it's like, Tony Robbins calls something it's a human experience. Like people go through things, right? And it's sort of like, there's a story of a dad who's an alcoholic, and there's 2 kids, and one of them he becomes an alcoholic. It's like, well, why does he become an alcoholic? Because his dad's an alcoholic, right?
I'm sorry. Are you watching me when I grow up?
That would be close to home. Yeah.
Have you listened to a few of our podcasts?
And then the other one is the other son doesn't become an alcoholic. That's why. Well, because his dad was an alcoholic, right? It's like, you got to think about how you're interpreting what happened to you. So one of the things I've gotten out of it over, enough time was, I have an amazing dad, have a great stepmom, a mom who left. And now that I'm a parent, like I'm pretty damn good parent. And I think a lot of that comes from, having both sides, the left and the right on the spectrum of like a parent that wasn't capable of parenting and a parent that was an amazing parent, and watching him navigate like really hard times and doing it with, conviction and never wavering on being a good man and a good parent, and even being hard as hell when he needed to, which, man, like I can't even imagine in the chaos of all of it and being like, nope. Right. So, you get those. So from through my own lens of life, looking at kind of the left side, the right side, it's like, man, I'm, pretty fucking proud of who I am as a dad. And I'm confident that a lot of that, made me even better because I know, the left path, the right path.
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly a gift from that perspective, for sure.
Oh, it's amazing that you and your brother both ended up taking that right path.
Yeah.
Like you say, a lot of times it's a split, right? Like one of them ends up going the other way and the other one goes.
Yeah. And not without like some of our chaos when we were younger. Right?
For sure.
Like, but, nothing's a free ride. But yeah, I mean, and a testament to my dad, because both of us, ended up pretty good. My brother's doing amazing, beautiful father. Kids are great, love him, and he's doing really well. So
imagine your dad's mindset and stress level, like,
dude,
when that happened,
man, like
unreal.
I can't even
probably at the point where he's still not successful. He's still trying to build on his career at that point.
Yeah. Like not established and trying not to lose the house.
Yeah.
Like crazy, man, crazy. I remember one night, he doesn't mind me telling this, he was asleep. My brother was gone. And I heard him screaming, and I was like, what the fuck? And I go upstairs and open the door, and he had woke up from a nasty nightmare of some things that he was sort of yelling some stuff. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, what? Yeah. It's just like, bury that shit down and make
There's
it work.
The answer, right? Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Good man.
What was your dad's first name, dude?
Henry.
Yeah. Shout out Henry.
Yeah. Shout out to the real dad.
That's a lot, man. Yeah. What's so you go through that, and you obviously, I like the fact that you're, retroactively looking at it and saying there was a right way and a wrong way, and take those 2 examples. Go back to Henry. What are the things that he's taught you that you implement as being a father today? What's the carry forwards?
Yeah. And I frame it differently, but his thing is that he would always be like, I'm not your friend. I'm your dad.
Yeah, that's come up a few times in the show.
It's like, okay, that's such an old mentality, but I understand the premise, right? It's like, I'm fathering you first. So like our relation, and it's hard to conceptualize when you're young. You're like, it's kind of fucking weird thing to say. But as you get older, you're like, right, there's like, I'm doing things for your benefit, not for you to like me. And that's, I don't know if you guys struggle. That's one of my biggest struggles, like with my son. It's like, man.
Because we want to be our kid's best friend. We're so like, our dads weren't ever trying to be our best friend. No. It was very different.
Yeah. I actually had the chat with my son 2 weeks ago, because I'm being harder on him, right? And I'm like, and he's such a good kid. Like, I'm not gonna like, he's a gift from God. Like, we don't have big troubles with him. He's just a great kid. But, there's these small little things where I'm like, I'm trying to push him, right? Just to like, my job is to make sure he is a capable father, a capable man, right? So, pushing him. I realized I didn't tell him this. I just started doing it. It was like a conscious effort to start being a little bit harder on him. And I like, shit, I gotta have this conversation. So I sat him down. I'm like, hey, I want you to know something. Like, you're probably feeling me be harder on you, and I'm doing it for these particular reasons, right? And kind of talk about my dad and some of the history and what we're trying to accomplish. And I'm like, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to be there for you, to try to help you develop. It's okay. And I said, like, I'm kind of building this plane as we're flying it. So you know, if I go a little too far or you're not sure why I'm doing it, like, I want to have disco. I want to have a conversation, right? We're going to figure it out together. He's like, okay, fair. So he got him shoes, his mom and I, in two different pairs. And long story, but he thinks they're the right fit, and then they're not. So, it's age-old story, small potatoes. He comes to get them, he's carrying 2 boxes downstairs. So can you get the door for me? I'm like, no. He said, okay. So he goes and leaves. I'm like, that was stupid. Why didn't I get the door for him? That was weird. That was a weird moment. So the next time he comes over my house, he's like, hey, how come you didn't hold the door for me? I'm like, really happy you brought that up. I have no idea. I thought it would be a good teaching moment. And when you left, I thought, what an idiot. That was a dumb thing to do. And he's like, good. I was trying to think of why you did that. I'm like, no reason. Right? Swing and miss. There it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good.
But at least you're swinging.
Right?
That's the big thing, right?
So definitely that would be a big one that my dad's lesson. It's like, not just sitting there and being like, oh my God, life casts something upon me. It's just like, he's really good at just moving through. Okay, this is what my new path is. There's something to this. I'm going to put my head down. We're going to make it work. And he just kind of over and over and just has this whole story of just doing the things he needed to do to become, where he needed to go.
Your dad and Kai super close?
Yeah, they're close. Yeah, they're fun. It's wild to see them together. Now he's just like soft. It's the age-old story, right? I'm like, hey, man. And a few times he's like, come on, don't be so hard on him. I'm like, no.
I didn't get that love from you.
Yeah, no way. Yeah, but that's what you get to do as a grandparent, right? Like, my job's done. I'm going to be just hang out and have fun, right?
Yeah. That's like on my wife's side. Same thing. Growing up, he was all about business. He was very focused guy, extremely successful guy. So, wasn't the warm and fuzzy dad because that wasn't him. But now as a grandparent, like I see it through my wife's eyes, like, well, and you've seen it too. Like
nicest guy in the world.
He'll just, and he's always down for hangouts and like playtime. And like, I remember one time too, he's like, okay, bye girls, love you. And my wife was like, pardon? Like it was so different, right? But that's our evolution though. That's
it's a different generation too. Cause you think about it, like, their generation, presuming on age, were in the war, running from it, or some chaos, some real chaos, and then it goes to the next generation, right? So either immigrant, second gen, whatever, and so you were raised by people that fucking ate potatoes to survive, like really rough stuff. So it's like, of course, they're going to be, each generation gets a little bit softer. But it's like, where's the line, right? It's like, how do you balance that piece out? It's like,
for sure.
Ooh, that's the trick.
World's heading for a little bit of a tough place, I think.
Oh, buddy, quick, right?
Yeah. Let's go back to the mental health piece, man. So your dad, obviously, that's a crazy amount of stress and obligation, and he got through it in his way. And we're finding on the show too that like everybody's kind of got their own take on how they balance out mental health. What's how do you approach yours?
Yeah, I have a bunch. So, got a therapist, amazing, loved it. Was probably one of the better things at the time that I needed to do.
Big first step that everybody needs to do.
Huge.
How long ago?
6 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I'm bad with timelines. But
okay, but mid-30s, call it.
Yeah. It's a side story, but I did a bunch of Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, still do Jiu-Jitsu, but and with my son's mom, when we were together, we would do these couples training, and there was a doctor there and his wife was a therapist. So I would train with them all the time, beautiful human beings. And I'm dropping my son, it was a terrible day, dropping my son off to his like before school care. And she's there dropping her kid off. She's like, looks at me. She's, the look that's like in your soul. She's just staring at me. And she's like, you okay? Like, no. Which is crazy.
And
like,
you said no.
Yeah, which I would never do. Never do. I was just like, I don't know. It was, God's intervention, but I'm like, no, I'm not. And she could just see it. It was like, no sense in even lying. When they're looking at you, like, fuck, you got me here. So she's like, well, you know what I do, right? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, hey, give you 2 options. Didn't even say like, do you want? She's like, you can go have a coffee as a friend when you have time and talk, or I can, you can come see me and be my patient, basically. I was like, well, I think we'll choose the latter. Let's do that. So perfect. It was interesting because like, I don't know if I would have went and, hunted for therapy.
Right.
It was just kind of gifted to me. And that's kind of a theme that happens a lot if you're looking for it, right? If you need it and you're paying attention. So it was just kind of gifted to me. So that's huge. Therapy's a big one. Preach it to whoever. Getting health in order is a big one. I had really bad anxiety, and it was funny. I was like, fuck, man, I have terrible anxiety and I can't figure it out. And then you sort of like meditate on it at night. And I'm like, I eat like shit. Don't work out. I don't sleep well. And it's like, maybe we need to cut some of these things out. It's like made a real concerted effort to get real healthy. Alcohol is basically minimized. I drink very rarely and eat really healthy. It's like anxiety's gone. Like you just had bad
Crazy how
quality of
chemicals
life,
like change your body.
Yeah. Just like I didn't need a pill. I just needed to get stuff in order. Right. So that's a huge one. It's just something physical. Jiu-jitsu's been amazing. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever done any type of...
That's your aggression release and mental release.
And it's just like, if you meditate, you can kind of go to another space for a while. But if you go do something like jiu-jitsu, whatever it is, you can't think about anything else. You're not thinking like, shit, I got to study for my MBA and, you know, like girls are sick at home. It's like, no, you're in it. Like you are in it. So when you're done, when you leave the mats, like it's a known thing. Like all the guys and gals just sit around and you're like almost high, man. You just feel amazing after. And it's just a bunch of like cool, chilled out people that are all having fun, trying to better their life. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So those are the kind of the key aspects, I would say.
Yeah. You got into the fitness thing quite a bit, right? You were competing at some point too.
Yeah. Did the fitness shows when I was younger. Well, for a little while there. That was interesting. It was like, I played football pretty much my whole life, like from grade 3 to first year university. Decided not to play in university because I'm 5'10" and white, so I don't know if that's going to take me anywhere. They're doing 2 days at Laurier, and I'm like, I'm not sure this makes sense to me, you know? So kind of stepped away from that. And anyway, started because I wasn't doing football, I ended up like just packing on a ton of weight. And it's first year university, so you're partying and oh my God, it was massive. So just a bunch of fat. So that's kind of where the anxiety started to take place. And then I think it took a couple of years, but anyways, a friend of mine was about to do a fitness show. And I was like, I didn't even know what it was, and started talking to his trainer, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it. Like, let's do this. So I was like, big, thick guy, and he was just like, it's going to take a little while, kid, but we'll get you there. So I just full force. He's like, you can't drink, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to eat these meals, you got to weigh this food. Like, oof. But you commit to something, you got to do it. So it was an amazing experience. Like, just to have that discipline kind of cast upon you, especially nutrition wise. Like I had never weighed food. I didn't really understand a bunch of it. And he kind of coached me through. It was amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Big time.
And what are you doing these days for the physical side? So you've got your Muay Thai and...
Yeah, jiu-jitsu mostly. So I do jiu-jitsu, gym all the time is a big one. Yeah. And then once a week doing like high rocks training, which is pretty cool, pretty gangster.
What's that?
It's kind of like High Rocks community is going to kill me. Yeah, I got to be careful.
You're going to say F45 or CrossFit or one of them. But it's not.
This is literally like the caveat to the High Rocks people because they're going to fucking cast me out. But it's like you nailed it. It's like F45's here, CrossFit's here, and it's kind of like a little to the side. Yeah. But it's cool. You just go. It's just honestly, it's just it's a good community. You go. I go once a week. So I'm not training for the actual High Rocks, but you just go once a week, head down. I burned like 1,200 calories one day. It was insane. It was crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So.
Then you go home and eat a whole fucking pizza.
It's called balance. Yeah. You gotta carve up, right? Yeah. That's neutral. That's how that works.
Yeah. And then, so parenting dynamic, man. I want to talk about that because I know that you've got a modern parenting situation going on. Yeah,
so we were together, pretty crazy relationship. Both of us were pretty nuts. So, terrible split. And then we despised each other, like court, like everything. You name it, we went through. It was very, very bad.
How old was kiddo at this time?
2, I think. Yeah, would have been 2. So just completely like priorities askew for both of us. Like just not the people we needed to be for him. And it's wild how you get there, but you're there. And so anyways, I ended up, I ended the relationship. I remember it was very hard because I come from a broken home. So I was like, I can't do this. I fucking do this to my son. But what ended up happening was I started thinking about like who I was becoming in the relationship and how I was just becoming a shell of a man. It was just like, it was crazy. And ended it. It was so bad. And then we just started to kind of forge a new path. So she stopped drinking, and I'm not blaming, like, it's not just the drinking that was, the catalyst. We were both idiots when we were together, but she just cut out drinking completely, started dating a guy who was sober, and just got pulled into it. Not because he pushed her. He was just like, it was his life, and she watched him do it. And she was like, I think I want to try that. And she did.
That's
Change
great.
her. Change her. It was crazy because I didn't really think she had a drinking problem. She'll say she did, and she was cool with me saying that. I didn't see it that way. And then when she cut it, she just totally, changed her perspective. I'm going through my own growth phase at this time, right? Really trying to be a better dad, be a better parent. And it's interesting. It's like the real turning point for our, co-parenting relationship was when we both started to look at our own mistakes as opposed to the other ones. Right. It was like after we broke up, it was a year of like, she fucking did this to me and I did this to her. And right. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. And then you start kind of like, once you feed that animal long enough, it's like, we've done that. And they start thinking, especially therapy helps, right? You start looking at like, what role
peel some layers back a little bit.
What role did you play in that, right? So you start kind of developing through that. And then, once we got to a point where we stopped being so selfish and started focusing on Kai, the relationship started to boom. And we're actually like very good friends now. It's amazing. Like you saw us at the mall together.
Yeah, of course.
Her and Kai.
That's awesome.
Like we're good buddies. And it was a complete 180. Like I remember there was a time I was just like, it was so chaotic. And I remember it was like literally laying there by myself and just being like, okay, God, like almost bringing him on like in a bad way. Like this is so fucked up. Now let's see you do something with it. Like very antagonistic. Yeah. And then, not to make this too much about God, but so I was reading these like Bible passages to Kai at night, right? It's a nice thing to do, good framework. And that's it. And then he starts talking about it to his mom. His mom does a bunch of research and finds this church she wants to go to. And this is years and years and years later. And she's like, hey, would you come to church with Kai and I? Amazing. Yeah, that's crazy. I would love to do. I hadn't been to church in a while. And we go and they're like, oh, no, there's kids upstairs. The kids go upstairs. So I'm literally downstairs in church with my son's mom, side by side, where we were in one of the craziest, again, like just the most chaos, years prior. It's like wild 180. And you know what? We're such better co-parents than we were partners. So it's been beautiful. It's like a new age way to kind of co-parent, but it's beautiful.
And the great thing is like he wouldn't remember any of those bad times and tough times. So
he remembers one thing. Yeah. And he brings it up often. I'm like, oof, there's a little therapy. It's not even that bad, just so you know, but it's nothing else. And it's like, it was enough that like the chaos was not there for him.
That's
Thank
amazing.
God.
Yeah.
And he knows we're buddies. We get along great. Like it's such a gift for all of us, and especially him, because if you fucking hate each other, man, I can't envision co-parenting in chaos. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who deal with that, and it's tough, man. And
both sides get vindictive the entire time.
Oh man.
Yeah, and there's never a proper resolution. Yeah.
No. And it's interesting because like similar to the therapy story, it's like, I wish there was something I was like, this is what you need to do, right? Like maybe we looked at both of our own perspectives, but like it wasn't one thing that I did or all these things I did or one thing she did. It was a cumulative path of us both working on ourselves individually to be able to come and co-parent.
And now there's legitimate therapy for that. Like it's not couples therapy. It's more like, it's almost like divorce therapy.
Oh,
like,
really?
It's for helping like people be better co-parents. Like, hey, it might not have worked out for you guys, but like to be better parents, like you should go to this kind of therapy and like learn how you can be a better parent and better co-parent and become friends again in a way.
Man, that's a beautiful thing. It's interesting because like,
it's just a matter of usually those two people, when they're going through that, they're not going to agree to go to that kind of therapy.
Again, like a gift from above. Cause like you go through this and it's like, it takes two people, right? Like, so we're kind of navigating it and I'm doing my own path. Aside from each other, we didn't communicate other than like pick up and drop off time. We hated each other. So I didn't know she was on her own path and she didn't know I was on my own, right? So it's like, it's going to take, luckily we were both doing that. So we hit a point where like, see some change in each other and form this friendship. So the therapy would definitely, if you can start looking at the perspective of your child or children, I think that helps a lot, right?
For sure.
Like not making it about yourself, which, I know we were both guilty of. Certainly I was too for a long time. And then you kind of spin out of that and you're like, oh, fuck.
Because everybody takes the selfish side and the pride side of it.
Right.
Versus like put the kid first, legitimately put the kid first. You could say you are, but like,
are you
really do it?
That's a tough thing though, to park your ego like that.
Yeah.
Especially with like when it is in a relationship or a marriage like that. We see it. Like I've got a friend right now that is just going through it because it's like she's got her version of events and he's got his version of events, and we're good enough friends with them that I hear both sides. And like neither of them are saying anything that are worth burning the house down for. Like both sides have snowballed and they've got their points and they've got their whatever, but there's this ego piece there where you almost just want to walk up and be like, for the sake of the kids, park that for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's go talk to somebody. Because that reset button is like right there. You can actually push it right now. And just hit that reset, give each other some grace and be like, you know what? There's a lot I love about that person. There's a lot I love about being a parent and I want to, do what's right for the kids, but ego gets in the way.
Yeah.
And these little issues snowball and, you burn the house down over.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not going together. Like even just go on your own. You know what I mean? Like do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's like you were saying about you guys walking your own paths. How much did that work? Right.
Yeah.
But you could still do that inside of a marriage. Like you could be doing the wellness and speaking to somebody and taking care of your physical and all that stuff.
My therapist said this to me once because like there was a time where like I'd drop Kai off and it would just be like, he wouldn't be there, but it would just be like, two pit bulls just waiting to fight, right? Just fucking chaos. And I was like, okay, it's frustrating because it's just like, keeps happening. And she's like, why don't you look at her like, the interaction with her, not her, interaction with her, like a gym. So it's like you go and your job is to maintain your peace. That's your only job. That's it. Don't let her because it's, phrase that too, because don't let her get you in. It's not that, it's how you interpret it. But it's like, don't get off your own peace path. Just stay on it. And so it became like a game, even though it's not a game, right? So you get in these situations and I'm like, blood is boiling. And I remember I was very clear. And at one time I did it, whole thing. And she was fucking trying and nothing. I was like, oh shit, I did. I told her, I fucking did it. It was amazing. And it becomes like, it's a muscle. You start working on it. And then what happened? And again, this is not the only reason we turned a path, but is I'm not your sparring partner anymore. Right. So that kind of goes away. Like I'm not fun to do this with anymore. And again, she's on her own path, but like, I'm not feeding into that. Now I'm finding peace and it becomes easier and easier and easier. And then it's kind of like, oh, this guy's not attacking me anymore. This is probably easier for her, right? We're just kind of leveling up.
Yeah.
And then you have a drop off that is decently pleasant.
Right.
Wow, what a difference. And then it becomes nice. And then we're like, hey, do you want to, take him to the pumpkin patch together? And it's like, cool. It's a great situation. So it's like those paths. And then that ended up being a gift for me because now her and I get along great. That's amazing. But that key that I got was somebody pisses me off now. It's like, am I really that pissed? Not a big deal. Right? You got like a black belt in staying calm and peaceful through like chaos. So again, all these weird gifts that like life casts upon you as you go through these things and navigate, right?
Yeah, that's a great skill that applies to everything. And I think too, when you guys figure that out, and obviously you're still, figuring it out as you go, use your analogy about we're building the plane as we fly it kind of thing. The more you can create those systems and processes, it's the same thing you do with your work life, right? Yep. As soon as you have those systems in place, then there's a roadmap.
Yeah.
But it takes the self-discovery. It takes talking to some smart people. It takes, wanting to.
Yeah,
that's
for
the
sure.
big thing. Because a lot of people don't identify like how close that reset button could be or how nice it would be if that reset button was placed, right? Or pushed.
So presumably at some point you guys got along and, you're all sharing the blend that you want to have the best situation for your kids. And it's like, it's just that, just getting off your own little high horse, but look, I mean, there's obviously circumstances that are different for everybody and some way worse situations that, totally. There's probably non-recoverables and, violence and stuff where people have to leave. So it's different, but, for the general populace, it just takes that little bit of shut your mouth and keep calm, right?
Have you guys both like moved on to like serious relationships and stuff? And do your guys' spouses like?
So I'm single. She's single now, but she was in a long-term relationship. It was great. Like it's so interesting. We actually laughed about it because it's been so long now. But like, no matter where you are in your path, that first time you see them, it's like, oof. And I didn't have feelings for her. She didn't have feelings for me. But like the first time, you're like, good God, that's tough, right? And then same for her. And then it just kind of like dissipates. And, the guy she was dating, like actually the last two guys she was dating, like the sober guy is amazing. Good guy. And so was the other guy, like just good human beings. And it's nice because she's on a good path. Her life's going quite well. So she's, attracting good quality men into her life, which is a fucking gift, a gift for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And so if we had Kai here, that 9 going on 30-year-old son of yours, and we said, Kai, tell us about your dad. What do you think he'd say? What would you want him to say?
Ooh, what a good question. I'd want him to know that I care, that I'm trying, doing my best. Him and I have a very good relationship. And I know he knows I've got him. I've got his back. And I'm just, this whole thing, like a big, big, big part in my life has been trying to be a better man, because who am I to help my son be a better man if I'm not? So a lot of it has been a lot of self-discovery, a lot of trying to level up my life in all aspects to teach that to him. And I think he knows that. Like a lot of this has been for his purpose, which has helped me. I'm selfless to it, but I think he knows that. I hope he knows that. Yeah.
And encourage him to do the same, right?
Yeah.
We're all figuring it out.
I'll tell you this quick. We had go to the dentist. I have a big, big thing. I said, like, if you say you're going to do something, you got to do it. And we all agree, right? So got to be a man of your word. We go to the dentist and he's a cavity. He's like, fine, it's not going to be an issue. They go to put the needle and he freaks out. Never seen this from him. And he's like panicking, and it's getting to be too much. And I'm like, hey, I'm like to the dentist, back off for a sec. I'm like, if you don't want to do this, we don't have to do this. You're in control. It's you. It's your situation, your teeth. You can do what you want. I would do it, but if you don't want to do it, you got my word. You don't have to. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't see that coming. I thought I could weasel my way through this path. I'm like, shit, I can't believe I just did that. Right? He's like, I cannot go back on what I just said to him. So we're to the dentist. I'm like, okay, we're done. We're out of here. And I'm driving him to school, and I'm not talking because I'm trying to think of like, I painted myself in a corner. I should not have done that. That was a mistake. I'm like, do I come clean? But it's like, I gave him my word. I was very clear about it. So, shit. So get to his school and he gets out of the car and he's like, are you mad at me? Oh no, man, I'm not mad. I gotta be honest with you. I let you do something and I'm going to stick to it because that's what we do. But this has a high likelihood of going real bad real quick, right? You got a cavity. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. But you're your own man. Like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's amazing. We'll rebook it. So I go to rebook it. I'm like hyping him up now. It's like 4 days later. I'm like, buddy, it's going to hurt. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to pretend it's going to be easy, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think it is. Okay. And I'm like, you got to give me your word now that you're going to do it. He's like, I'm going to do it. I'm like, okay. So we park, get out. And he's like, get your camera. I want to take a video. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Okay. And he's like, to any of the kids out there that are nervous, you just got to believe in yourself. And he gives this whole speech about like doing it. He sits down, he's bawling, he's shaking. And I'm like, you good? And he's like, thumbs up, hands going. And he did his teeth. And he was so hyped and proud of himself after. And I was like, I hyped him up. I'm like, man, I thought I made a mistake by giving you so much autonomy and you crushed it. Like, you're a little hero, buddy. Like, good for you.
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not in the moment though, eh? Like the reason that story is so good is it gave him that self-reflection time. He did need to build up the confidence, mindset.
Yeah. He built that. He's got his own little internal like fortitude, his little strength. In his mind,
he's like, let me help other people.
That's what I love the most, right? He's like, how do I pay this forward? I'm like videotaping a little tear in my eye. Like, buddy, the kid loves the camera. He's got a beautiful heart. So
yeah, that's great, man.
9 years old.
At 9.
9.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a compliment to you and yours though, man.
Thank you.
It's building an awesome little human.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to talk about work, man? You want to talk about what you do? Anything you want to plug?
Okay.
Just walk us through.
Yeah, so we specialize commercial, so don't do residential. It's all through Ontario. Most of what we do is apartment building sales. Apartments or multifamily buildings right now are just kind of on fire. Big reason for that is you can get, like it's pretty wild. You can go, let's say you buy a 30-unit building. You can go get them with CMHC financing, which is just government insured financing, at somewhere very likely at 15% down. And the buildings are going to cash flow very well, stable, like as they are. And there's a bunch of lift on them. So, there was a big thing ages ago of people paying tenants to leave and evicting them, and not the place you want to exist in. But now you can just get a building, send it to CMHC, get really, really good financing. You're 15% down. Your cash flowing amazing. Your cash on cash is awesome. And this builds in every single thing you can think of, like repairs and maintenance and hiring property managers. So they effectively pretty close to hands off, and just, legacy style money. And it's amazing. Like a lot of people own, singles and duplexes and condos, and they just simply don't know that there's another option. How many people do we know they own 5 condos and none of them are cash flowing? And it's like, man, there's solutions out there that we can navigate you like Monopoly and move you into a larger substack, and it ends up being a much more beneficial shift. It's incredible. So we're booming right now because of that fact. Like, there's really good inventory out there that has strong cash flows. And even if you kind of predict for the rents that are going down, we're just stress testing and building out like lower rents, and they're still working.
Why do you think, like, because most of these buildings are older buildings, like there's not a ton of apartment buildings that are being built nowadays, but like, why do you think the people that own those buildings are trying to sell them right now? Like,
yeah, great question. It's funny. One of the things, so I have a corporation that kind of owns some of my buildings. The whole plan was give it to my kids, big thing, or give it to my son. And, so many building owners do that, and most of the time their kids don't want it. It's crazy,
right?
It's like, dad's 80 years old. He wants to unload his entire portfolio, and you're meeting with the kids, and you're like, guys, don't do it. I'm talking myself out of a job. Kids don't do it. Don't do it. They want to do it. It's wild. So that's a big one. There are some people that kind of overextended themselves, and you see that because these guys will go and they'll buy a 20 unit, 30 unit, and they expect that they're they buy it on private debt, and they're stacking on all this money that's not theirs, and running really lean and in the negative, and those guys have to sell.
Yeah,
we don't engage in that. That's not the model we kind of preach. But there's that. But most of it is just multi-generational buildings not going to the next generation. They're just unloading it.
Do you think a lot of it has to do with, like, Ontario has really, really shitty landlord laws too? Like, Alberta's finally like fixing theirs.
Yeah.
In the States, a bunch of states are doing like what Florida did. Like, you don't pay your bills in 30 days, like fucking doors are changed. Like, you're out of there. Yeah. Do you think that's got a big part to do with it too? Because like now it's like well known, like if somebody doesn't want to pay rent, it takes 10 months to get them out of there. And like for a lot of guys, if they own a 30 unit building and 10 of those units are doing that, they're fucking upside down quickly.
Yeah, not so much in the buildings. Like it is, I mean, look, there's always that risk for sure. But if you have a duplex and one of the tenants doesn't pay, that's 50% of your rent roll. It's gone. Sure. You're fucked. If you have a 30 unit, the likelihood that most people are good people for the most part. Most people pay their bills. So if you have a 30 unit building, the likelihood that you have 10% of those, like 33% of it is zero. Like this is just not, it doesn't happen. You can kind of statistically model this out. So you might, if you're unlucky, you might have a few, but even then if we're doing it properly, there's enough cash flow in there for you to sustain it and be okay. So from a risk perspective, multifamily's certainly a better path from that point than a duplex. So, we're seeing interest rates play a big factor. And I think that's part of it too. Like people just get tired, right? If you've been doing it, like anyone tells you real estate's hands off, it's definitely not. It's definitely work. And, I think if you've been doing it for 80 years and you got a massive portfolio, your kids don't want it. Yeah. It's time to get rid of it.
Do you think you're going to start to see builders start building out more of these apartment buildings versus like condo buildings aren't going to come back for probably 5, 6, 7 years because there's so many empty ones, but they're going to want to build something. These companies aren't going to want to go away. Do you think they start?
They're already starting. Yeah. So it's partly what keeps us busy too, is not the huge builders, but the mid to small size. They're going to go out and get a 10, 15 unit building on a big lot. So now they have cash flow by owning that existing building while they work on the development piece of building another 15 units or whatever, will be allowed on it. You're seeing that a lot. Like the builders are pivoting, and then new development, you're seeing those kind of more to the small size, like 8 to 20 units. You're seeing a lot of those go up.
Okay.
And builders are pivoting, and it's crazy. CMHC again will, on some of this new construction, give you like 80 to like 95% loan to value on post-construction cost.
And the cost to go higher doesn't really increase a lot. So add a few more floors. And
well, we tend it's crazy though, because if you look at it, you go buy the 30 unit we're talking about, like the building you buy that's existing, it is way below the cost to construct a new one.
Right.
Way below. So you don't get that to the same degree if you go to Florida, for example. The delta between the two is much smaller. Where here it's wide. It's millions of dollars difference. So even the existing builders start looking at it and go, may as well just buy this existing building as opposed to build a new one. So it is very dependent on models, but that's becoming the big business right now, is some of these mid-sized ones and just setting them.
Are there a ton of these on the market right now?
No, we're like, we specialize in it. So we see most of what's out there. And most of what sells is off market. Like you go to MLS, you see some, but that's that like 80
gone before it hits that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 80-90% of the deals we do are off market. And it's a lot of like, you know, cause if you do a building transaction, you're conditional for 40 to 60 days.
Right.
And then closing after that can be 6 months. So you're 6 months into a deal with somebody. So a lot of my sellers don't even want to go to MLS because they're like, no, bring us people
right.
that will execute, right? And they want to know who they are and they want to meet with them. It's not like, oh, we do a res deal and you two never meet. They meet often. So a lot of it is just never on market.
And your book of business, you've built up a client base already. That's like, hey, we have people ready to go as buyers.
Yeah. So we have a whole like league of buyers that are already prepped. Like we go through a whole process with them, spend time, kind of educate them, ensure where their funds are, make sure they're working with the right, mortgage brokers, because you can't use a res guy to do a commercial deal, right? Lawyers. So it's just like basically a pocket of buyers ready to transact with different models to them. And then once we get a building, it's very easy. A lot of the deals we do are pretty internal, or it's another agent that we've done 100 deals with, and maybe not 100, but 10 deals with. And, none in their group want to buy it. So they send it to us.
Right.
Yeah. It's great. It's much less temperamental than res, which is nice. Like all my clients are data driven, emotionless in these scenarios. It's beautiful.
Which area are you seeing the most action in for that kind of stuff right now? Is it like Hamilton or is it Halton?
Yeah. You don't see as much in like the Burlington, Oakville, kind of Toronto, because the cash flow is pretty muted because they're just a lot more expensive price per unit. We've been doing a lot kind of Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph, those areas.
Oh yeah.
Don't do too much out north. Like if you go too far out there, we just don't tend to they happen out there. We just don't gravitate there as much. So yeah, that's kind of the pocket that most of it's being done.
Interesting.
Want to plug the pod or any of the
stuff thank you. Yeah, look at me. I gotta get better at that. Yeah, so we have we have our own podcast. So the REI Hot Seat. So REI Hot Seat. That's on pretty much every platform, YouTube, Spotify, all that. But it's interesting. It's super niche, right? So what we'll do is we'll take a deal, on or off market, and we'll break it down and run through all the numbers, the underwriting on it, and hey, if you put debt on it, what does it look like, and where do you stress test it? And we were like, just did it for passion. And then it started kind of growing. And like, we've got a solid group. I think we have 2,000 subscribers, which in a niche thing like that is awesome. Quite substantial. And I think on average, a couple hundred views, which again, for something so niche is quite a lot.
Yeah.
And it's been really like, we didn't do it like the main premise was like, how many people are going to watch this? But it ended up really generating a lot of business just by kind of giving, behind the scenes look at what actually should be done on these buildings. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Anything else you want to plug?
Website's The Investments Group. Same with Instagram. So, yeah, give us a follow. Love that.
We asked you to bring something.
Oh, yeah.
It's everybody's favorite segment.
I wrote them down because guess what? This was a ChatGPT. I hope that these weren't done already. I got two because, just in case.
There we go.
What's up, buddy?
What did I guess we got to preface. These are dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Yeah,
Dave Hulshof dad jokes.
Yeah, they're not jokes that I think are absolutely hilarious. Okay. What did the ocean say to the beach?
Oh, it's going to be, do you want me to guess?
Yeah.
It's going to be, it didn't say anything, it waved or something like that.
Shit, that's a bad joke because you got it.
Yeah.
Nothing, it just waved. Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay, if you get this one,
all right,
you win. Okay, why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants?
Because he had a hole in one.
Shit. Did you hear these before?
No, bro. I do this professionally.
Well done, sir. Well done.
I appreciate those. I got one too. I heard one the other day, and I thought it was pretty funny.
Can Jamie guess it?
All right, you got it. Well, no, maybe you got to get it. Get back on the board, bro.
Pass it to him.
Why did the grizzly bear put on socks and shoes?
I have no idea.
Like no clue.
He didn't like his bare paws. That's good.
It's good. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So that's all.
The dad joke's been flying in the dad group. The last 2-3 days. Yeah.
What's the funniest one if you can remember one?
I'm the worst for them, so I don't remember them at all. But like Daryl Fowler and Mark DeSoto, shout out those guys. They've been going off for the last 3 days. Like every 3 hours, there's like a new one, and they're so bad.
Yeah, some of them are like, well, the one that Ella always, so my youngest daughter always tells because she thinks it's hilarious is, why did the kid cross the playground? It was to get to the other slide. She loves it. She'll tell it and she'll look you right in the eye and wait for you to laugh.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Too funny. So that's everything I got, man. I want to say thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you.
it.
Congrats on all your
awesome.
success.
Thank you, guys.
Professionally as a father. It's super fun to watch, man. Keep it up.
Appreciate you both. Thank you.
All right, man. Good luck with the rest of the business too.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Chat soon, bro.